In the afternoon, we're putting beers away. None other than former World Heavyweight Champion Tommy Wildfire Rich.
Cheers, cheers.
This is another session of our shoot interviews, and we're going to just start shooting away. We'll be here for a long time. We're going to take some questions from phone callers later in the afternoon. We'll splice in some wrestling footage. And without further ado, I welcome Tommy Rich to our offices.
Wait a minute, we ain't started yet, are we?
First off, I guess we'll get to your background. Who actually trained you? I know you've been in the business for a long time.
I started in Tennessee. Tojo Yamamoto trained me, and of course, I wrestled, all of the superstars in the wrestling. I'm very lucky to, I hit an era of the wrestling, and I wrestled some of the greatest wrestlers. I mean, I guess I'm still learning now, actually.
Really? Wow. So how did you hook up with Tojo?
Well, I grew up, I played football, and I grew up around, I knew Eddie Marlin. I grew up around, the professional wrestling. I used to go when I was a kid, and I wrestled in high school. And anyway, Jerry Jarrett, he used to come to see the football games. And when I got out of high school, I talked to them about breaking into professional wrestling. And it's been very good to me.
Yeah. You've been around for a long, long time, huh?
Yeah, I've been a lucky ride, sure. Yeah.
How long were you working before you actually got into the Georgia territory?
I started about the beginning of 76, and I went to Atlanta, Georgia in 78, 79, in 78, 79.
Was that your first big national exposure?
Yeah. It was, now then it ain't, I've been everywhere and done it, but back then, the Georgia Championship Wrestling, it was one of the biggest promotions, and I was at 19 years old and went to Atlanta, Georgia, and I'll tell you what, they got some pretty Georgia peaches there, too. I love to chase them women, and, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. When you got to Georgia, was it kind of one of those things where you had to work your way up to the top, or were you given the big push right away?
Yeah, first night I was there, I about tucked tail and went home. I wrestled Abdullah the Butcher. He beat the daylights out of me, and I thought, I better go back home. And I stuck it out. I ain't never been a quitter. That's one thing, and I just stuck it out. And Tony Atlas and myself, we got together, and they called us Salt and Pepper, and we won the tag belts, and that was the big start right there. Tony Atlas gave me the name Wildfire, because I chased them women, Wildfire.
Yeah.
So Georgia was that was a big stone for me right there. Getting to go to Georgia was a big break, and that is what made Tommy Rich.
Cool. What when you first got to Georgia, I guess you first started getting your push. Were the other veterans in the locker room, were they very helpful to you, or were they jealous that such a young kid's coming in and he's getting all the all the push, or did they help you out a lot? Or
it's a lot of people have cliques and stuff now. When I started, of course I was a young kid, and it was country come to town when I went to Atlanta, Georgia, and I had a lot of respect. And plus, it's like I said, the Lanzas, the Ole Andersons, the Hansons, the Austin Idol's, the Buzz Sawyers. I had the opportunity to wrestle some of the best in the professional wrestling business, some of the guys that pioneered the business, and it was really helpful to me. Because I respected them, and if you respect somebody, they help you. And I'd have to say that. Everybody was there to, it was for everybody. It wasn't just for this guy over here.
Like a family.
When I started, it was a family, and everybody worked to help each other, because the bottom line is, if it was good for everybody.
Right. Well, being, I guess you said you were 19 when you started getting your big push and everything. Was it hard being so young to deal with all that success coming to you so young, or were you prepared for it, or?
I still ain't prepared for that. And like I said, it was country coming to town, and Rick Martel, he come to Georgia. Him and myself, we had a good, we tagged together and had a real good run with Ricky, and we were 7 days a week, 24 hours. Ricky and myself. Well, he liked chasing women like I did. I still like to chase them now, too, by the way.
For any single ladies watching, right?
Yeah. Or if you're married, too, I don't care.
I know you could probably go on for hours on this question, but I guess an obvious question is somebody like you that's been around for so long, comparing the business back then, especially at that peak, to now, to 1997.
Wrestling's changed. I mean, like I said, I was very lucky to, started. I mean, like the Lanzas and the Heenans, and I had an opportunity, I mean, there were a lot of characters in wrestling that, that, like I said, that they pioneered the road. And I mean, I come in on the end of that era, and then I've made another era. And,
right.
Like I said, it's been very lucky to me. Now I got kids saying yes, sir, to me, which I do deserve the respect, by the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we were just watching the Georgia tapes and just seeing some of the early stuff. And, it just shows what kind of an influence you and the rest of the Georgia territory had on even like ECW with a lot of the brawling and a lot of the angles that are set up today, and especially Smoky Mountain, a lot of this territorial wrestling. It seems like that really, was a learning tool more or less for the newer promotions and stuff like that, especially the regions.
Well, it's, and you talk about it changing now too. I mean, you think Houston, it's so much harder now. I mean, for a young guy to break into the business, I mean, the longevity now, there's not, I mean, you've got WCW and WWF if you count that wrestling. I mean, I ain't really one that counts that wrestling. I mean, God bless them guys making money, but that when I broke in, I mean, you had to fight, and you kick, scratch, and buy whatever you had to do, and it's changed. I mean, it's like ECW. I like it here. I mean, they got a group of great guys with ECW that they go out there, kick, fight, stomp, whatever they got to do. It ain't, my hair's not looking too pretty today. I can't do this. I mean, the school I'm from, I mean, ECW and USWA even, I mean, where they kick, I mean, that's the way I was brought into the wrestling business. And, I mean, it's, some people say, why don't you go back to WCW? Why don't you go to WWF? I mean, it's just, I got 3 girls now, and like I said, I've done it for a long time. I put my time in, and I still enjoy what I do. And I mean, of course, everybody loves the money, but if you don't enjoy it, you might as well not do it. And the other groups, I mean, that's not my cup of tea. And ECW, I'm having a great time with it.
You seem like you take a lot of pride in what you do, and you're not going to compromise any of your morals or any of your feelings about the business for I guess the big bucks, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I put my time in, and I've saved a little bit here and there. I might not save what I should have because I chase some pretty women, by the way. Married or single, it don't matter. Put a little plug in there.
If they were rolling, right? Yeah. Oh wow. I guess. I think it was 1981 when you beat Harley Race for the NWA World title.
Yeah, 1981, yeah.
I guess maybe any memories you have of that, tell us about that. I mean, that's,
Well, I mean, a lot of people say, call it a 7-day wonder, but the thing about it is 1981, I was 19, and I had the opportunity. I mean, there's not many people that can say that they wore the NWA heavyweight title, whether it's one day or, a year. It don't matter. It was one of the biggest accomplishments in my life that I'd ever done. And I love to held the belt longer, but like I said, I was there. I did it, and people say what they want, but they ain't never been there.
Right. Especially at 19 years old.
Yeah, and it was, and that. I mean, you asked me a while ago. That was a lot of pressure there.
Was it?
That was. Because it's a lot of responsibility, and I might not have been ready for it, but like I said, I've been there and I've done it. And, Harley Race, that was another one of the great ones. He was, one of the top in the wrestling business. And I had the opportunity to wrestle them all. And it's been one of the greatest educations, that you could ever have.
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun doing it, too.
Yeah.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.